Hello everyone, so I'm Mr. Goose. If you guys don't know, I'm quite a big fan of JoJo. A friend called Comic Chicken got me into it and I really enjoy it. So I thought I'd go into my top 10 favourite stands of part 3 where stands are first introduced. I will also be doing another episode on part 4 and 5, each their own episode once this one's done. And then when part 6 is out, I will do that as well. But anyway, let's just get onto the top 10. Okay, so coming at number 10, we have Yabba's stand, Justice. This isn't a fighting stand per se. This is a fog skeleton that can control the dead with holes in their body, which is very creepy altogether. And the simple fact that this is a polar-centered one is something I really enjoy, because Yabba is an interesting character, and the idea of avenging her son for what Polnareff did to her is very interesting, even though it doesn't make the most sense. The reason that it's so low is simply just because she's an underused character that is killed off very quickly by Dan of Steel. But anyway, let's get on to number 9. Like mother, like son, coming at number 9, we have Centerfold's stand, Hangman. This is one of my favourite fights in all of JoJo Part 3, and he's such an interesting character because he's the one that kills Polnareff's sister, meaning they automatically will, that Polnareff is going to kill him and take enjoyment out of it. But the fact that he teams up with Whole Horse, which is a great character, spoiler alert, his stand does not appear on the list because it's just a gun, is very interesting, and the fact that he's part of the reason why Abdul is quote-unquote killed, even though he comes back like 5 episodes later, just to be killed a little later, is very fun. But the idea of going through mirrors is very interesting and quite creepy. So that's why Hangman gets number 9. Let's move on to number 8. Speaking of Abdul, coming at number 8, we have Abdul's stand, Magician's Red. This is one of the most interesting stands because it's actually the first one we see properly. And it's the first time we get to hear about him, and he's the one who explains stands, which is very cool. Sure, he's probably the least used out the Crusaders, but I still like it. But that's the main reason why it is where it is. And I just feel like it's very plain, it's literally just a Firebird. But I do really like this, and it seems like it could be used in a lot of real cool and fire situations. So let's just move on to number 7. Next up, we have my favourite character, Joseph Joestar's stand, Hermit Purple. Now, I love him, he's my favourite Joestar and my favourite character, but I can't give him any higher than this, because the stand is, while it is good, it's not really one that we see a lot, and it's not really one of my favourites. I just really enjoy the character and feel like it's used in a lot of really good situations which make it useful, and I feel like it could be used in a lot of great situations that I would love to see, and I wish were used more. But anyway, enough of me talking about how much I love the character. Let's move on to the next. Anyway, next up, we have Vanilla Ice's stand, Cream. Now, this is one of the scariest stands out there. This stand is terrifying and very powerful, and actually kills 2 of the Crusaders with its true power, Iggy and Abdul. And I just really do enjoy this stand for so many reasons. It's terrifying, it's overpowered in a lot of ways, and I think the design's one of my favourite out there. But Vanilla Ice just isn't a character that I particularly was the biggest fan of, so that's why he doesn't get that high, but I love his stand so much. But anyway, let's just move on to the next one. Next up, we have my second favourite villain stand. We have Death 13. I just love this for so many reasons. The power to be able to control dreams in the dream world is so cool, and the design is amazing, and the fact that a baby's the one controlling it is really weird, but strong. And it's just one of my favourite stands. The design is and the whole, tally hole, or whatever it says, is really cool. And I just really enjoy this stand, that's why it's my 5th favourite. But anyway, let's move on to number 4.
Easy victory! Lily! Oh? Lolly ho.
Next up, we have one of my favourite characters in all of Stardust Crusaders and all of JoJo, Polnareff. He's just so great, and his stand Silver Chariot is one of the most iconic ones, and still one of my favourites. The only reason that it doesn't get like third place is I prefer third place's stand, and it's kind of bland, but I love this stand. It's used so often, and the way that he uses it just shows how great he is and how amazing of a character he is. And it's the perfect stand and it suits him great. So anyway, let's move on to the top 3. Coming at number 3, we have Kogawin's Hierophant Green. I love this stand for so many reasons. Ever since I seen this stand, I just love it. Kogawin's also one of my favourite Part 3 characters. If not my favourite character that is exclusive to a season. He's better than Caesar. This character's just great, and I love him. He's great, and his stand is just great. The design is beautiful, and still one of my favourite stand designs out there, and its power is really interesting, and it's used in a lot of great fight scenes, and some of my favourite scenes in JoJo. But anyway, let's get on to the top 2. I'm sure you can already guess who both of these characters are, but let's just go. So of course, coming at number 2, we have Star Platinum. Now this is my second favourite stand in JoJo. Well, at least for part 3. But I just love this stand ever since I seen this. Jotaro is my second favourite Joestar, though to begin with I didn't really like him, but he really grew on me later on in the season. And later on parts like part 4, and soon we'll be getting to see him in part 6, which will be great in December. But anyway, look, this stand's just great. From long fingers, which is a really kinky thing. It's just great. And his roll. It's just great. That's why it's my second favourite stand in part 3. And part number 1 and number 2 so easy could have been switched out. And to begin with they were. But I decided to give this other stand number 1. But let's just get right on into it.
Jotaro! Dio stand! The world gives him the ability to control time! Whatever you do, stay out of its way! Once more, the world!
So of course, coming at number 1, we have Dio's stand, The World. Now the idea to control time is very sick, and Dio's my favourite villain of JoJo, so of course, he had to get number 1. This stand is just so cool, and it's one of my favourite, if not my favourite villain stand ever. Killer Queen's a strong contender, but hey, this stand's just really cool, and it had to hit number 1. So, anyway, let's just get on to the outro. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy, please like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, hit the bell if you're going to subscribe, because YouTube will not actually send notifications out to you if you don't hit that bell for some reason. YouTube, you should probably fix that. But anyway, I'm not in charge of YouTube. But that's the end of this video. I'll see you guys next time. Just remember, this was my opinion. Your opinion is going to be different, because different people have different opinions, so don't leave any hate comments. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.